Writing high-performing Google Ads copy is not about being creative or clever, it's about being functional. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact framework we use to think about creating high-performing Google Ads copy, as well as showing you the workflow we use with Claude to generate high-performing, high-converting responsive search ads at scale. And there'll be a walkthrough which you can follow along to. By the end, you'll have the prompts, a skill file, and a walkthrough which you can use to follow along. So why should you listen to me? I'm Zach, the founder of Vida Digital, and my agency has spent over £15 million at this point and see inside hundreds of client accounts. It doesn't matter whether you're spending £50 a day or thousands of pounds a day, the principles are the same. And you need to understand these frameworks before using AI. Otherwise, you'll end up creating AI slop that's not going to help anybody. So here's how we think about Google Ads copy and the frameworks we use. The first thing you need to think about is the keyword that you're actually targeting. We like to think about Google search ads bottom up. And by that, I mean starting at the bottom of the funnel, as you can see here. Now, we want to attract the highest intent traffic first because that is the highest converting and it's going to be the most efficient to buy on Google Ads. What that means is that there's a level of intent which you can tell from the type of keyword, and it's important you understand that first, because understanding that allows you to tailor the ad copy and then the landing page specifically to the stage of awareness that that person is at. Now, the keyword tells you the level of awareness that a searcher is at, or at least it gives you an idea. It's really important you understand this before going on and just writing ad copy, because if you don't understand this, then the ad copy you write won't be perfectly tailored and attract the buyer depending on where they are in the funnel. So, for example, with this brand, Rehab Your Hair, they sell a matcha lash and brow serum. They're clearly already problem aware because they know, and they're going to know that the lashes are thin or weak because they've searched for matcha lash serum. Nobody searches for that without knowing obviously what the product is, and you don't search for that product unless you have an awareness of the problem. They're likely going to be solution aware too, because they're going to know that lash serums exist and roughly what they do, but they're not yet product aware because they've searched that generic term and they've just landed on your site. So it's your job to convince them not that solutions exist, but to persuade them as to why your matcha serum is the best. So on the product page, which is where we might start for research, because we are tailoring our ad copy to this product, we're looking for product copy which shows us where someone is sold on the category without answering why this one or another. So headlines we could pull out of here might be absorbs quickly, healthier hair growth, enhances the appearance of volume, for example. Now, the lens matters more than the keyword itself, because the keyword gives you that signal and the ad has to speak to that exact stage. It's really important that you align that ad copy with where that person is at in the funnel. So by reading the keyword, in this example, matcha lash serum, which we've got this example here from Rehab Your Hair, we can see that they're already going to be problem aware. They know the lashes are thin, weak, or undefined because they've searched for a matcha lash serum. They're going to be problem aware, and that they're going to be aware of that there are solutions out there. They may be aware of this product before, but they haven't searched for that. They're at the point of evaluating options. So they've searched for a category-based term, a matcha serum, with an ingredient in it. So they're actively comparing. So if you get into the mindset of the customer there, they know they need one of these serums, but it's your job to show them why they should buy yours over at other customers. So we're looking to speak to this person who's sold on the category without answering the actual question they're asking. So the ad needs to speak to that exact stage. And it's really important you think of this through that lens. Once you understand the stage of awareness the customer is at based on the keyword they've searched, the next phase is to think about the types of copywriting frameworks that you can use to appeal to that buyer based on where they are. So you don't have to use all of these all of the time. You'll need to flex these depending on the niche and depending on where that person is in the funnel. So there's 3 examples here. We've got principles of persuasion, proof, specificity, and prospect theory. In this example for Rehab Your Hair, because it's health and beauty, problem agitate solution tends to work quite well, as does proof specificity, because, and this is something about specific numbers will always beat vague claims, which works very well in health and beauty and healthcare, of course, because there's obviously that scientific element behind the product. So that's great to use in this example. And then of course, in terms of principles of persuasion, social proof and authority is always going to perform well, irrespective of the niche. So putting in specific reviews is always going to help. And then another one which I like is prospect theory. So that's something which shows that losses feel 2 times more painful than the equivalent gains feel. So here we've got a specific headline for each slot, which is how our tool works. AI works much better if you give it a specific headline slot, depending on the type of copy within that. So yeah, that looks good. There's a couple we might change here. Maybe we would change number 6, but overall it's pretty good. And then it's got unique descriptions as well. Shows you the frameworks it's been used for that. And then we've got the same for the mid funnel one as well. And yeah, you then go through that. You can make tweaks. So I won't make any tweaks here, but the way that's set up is you can, and then you would just say approved. Then that will generate you a Google Ads Editor CSV. This will all be linked down below in the description. And here, yeah, we've got an output in a CSV format with dynamic keyword insertion in the first one with a brand name, product. Yeah, and that's it. So we've generated responsive search ads from a product page URL, a brand name, and yeah. Okay, now I've shown you that workflow. I just want to talk you through a little bit more about the frameworks which underpin that and why we do everything a certain way. So we use all 15 slots because missing slots is missing surface area. And with RSAs, particularly now, you've got to cater for broad match and AI max, and we don't have control like we used to. You need to allow a wider range of headlines to capture a wider range of search terms which you can match for. But the way to do that within an automated workflow like this and not have things mess up is to give every slot a predefined role. So what we like to do is take those 15 headlines and give each one a specific slot depending on the niche. So like we'll always have, say, slot 2 as dynamic keyword insertion, we'll have slot 3 as the brand, we might always have proof specificity as 1, and this will depend on the niche. We also like to write 3 RSAs per ad group. And why do we do this? Simply put, it drives more conversions. Now, Google's own data shows that advertisers who added a 3rd RSA to an ad group see roughly almost 4% more conversions at a similar CPA. Now, that makes sense with larger ad groups with more search terms coming through them, with broad and now AI max. You need to cater for a lot more potential searches. So what we like to do, and in this workflow, we have set up a top of funnel, a mid funnel, and a bottom of funnel RSA. Because of the broadening match types now, and because search is moving much more conversational, you can take someone from that full funnel. You can take them from a stage of complete unawareness right through to product conversion. So by doing that, yeah, you've got 45 unique assets. And that's really nowadays how you need to set things up, because you can't control so much what the message is, and you can't really control the search terms that are coming into those ad groups like you used to. So yeah, you need to lean into that. To do that, you need to write 3 RSAs per ad group. Here's again just why that matters more in 2026 with match types widening and AI max. What we like to do as well is have those slot roles just differ by niche. So for clothing, we might have sizing, fit, returns and delivery. For beauty, we'll have a hero ingredient, we'll have the reviews, we might have an outcome and a time frame, and all of that is coded into our workflows so that whatever niche we're writing for, there are specific roles within that just to increase the quality of the output. So just recapping then, our 6-step framework for great Google search ads. It starts with research and understanding where that person is in their stage of awareness. We're then creating a skeleton from that depending on the niche. So defining what each slot does, which is really essential when you're using Claude. And that's all underpinned by copywriting frameworks, which are baked into our workflows. And then we are from that, which I'll cover in a different video, we're actually testing different persona-based angles across those 3 different ads within each ad group. Knowing how to write great Google Ads copy is only puzzle, but building campaigns where the message, the product, and the feed all work well together, and then using AI to do that is where you need a joined up strategy, because ultimately it's no good using AI if you haven't got the right strategy in place, and it's no good using AI unless there is good research underpinning it, great understanding of your customer, and you're using copywriting frameworks, and you're actually constructing an ad which is going to perform within like the constraints of the platform. So as I said, you haven't got control so much. So we're actually constructing a broad range of ads and feeding the platform with lots of different copy, accepting that we haven't got control over how that's specifically going to show. So yeah, if you're running Google Ads or Meta Ads and want to drive better results for your brand and you found that walkthrough helpful, then please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me make more content. The full walkthrough and all of the resources will be linked down below in the description. So thanks for watching.